So you train too hard and you go injured, and you probably don't want that to happen again. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you the way you can recover from an injury, the way you can stay injury-free, and the fastest way you can deal with an injury if it happened already. As you might know, I trained for around 8 years, and out of those 8 years, probably 3 of them were me being injured, or probably even more. So because I lacked knowledge, and because I didn't take some things seriously enough, and because I made some bad decisions, which were like 2 seconds of a bad decision, and boom, you get injured and then you suffer. So today, I'm gonna explain to you in details how to avoid this and how to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. It's just you not being able to train, you not being able to do what you love. It's too many things in one, which is why it's not worth it. So take this video as seriously as nothing in your training or nothing as an athlete. This is the most important part, injuries and how to deal with them and how to avoid them. So listen carefully. Of course, before we get into this video, I want to show you quickly so you understand my strength. What am I capable of doing before you listen to me talking? Because many of you guys maybe don't even know who I am. Well, in the sport of calisthenics, I'm pretty heavy and tall, and I train legs, which makes everything harder. So I'm 188 centimeters tall and 95 kilograms when it comes to how heavy I am. So doing all the things I do is pretty tough. So enjoy a quick compilation, quick videos of what I can do, and then you listen to my advices. Cool? Sounds good? Nice. I gained solid knowledge. I was coached by many top athletes, strongest athletes in the world. So I know how things work. So if I don't know how things work, if I don't have good knowledge about how to train, how to avoid injuries and stuff like this, then I don't know who does. So first one, injuries. Why do they even happen? First thing I'll tell you, and it's the most important part, is that every single injury happened because it was supposed to happen. They don't happen by accident. If the injury is happening, it's because you messed up in something. One of the most important things that has a big impact on you getting injured, which is easy to avoid, it's you being hydrated. So when it comes to hydration, make sure you drink minimum 300 milliliters of water within 45 minutes to 60 minutes before training. So if your workout is in 1 hour, drink a good amount of water right before the training. So hydration very important. During your workout, drink minimum 1 liter of water. So between every set, take a quick sip of water, drink it. Number 2, which is also one of the main things and reasons why people get injured often, not sleeping enough. Not sleeping enough has a big impact on you getting injured. And you might think that if you sleep 1 week very well and then you have 1 bad night of sleep, this will not really affect your training. You will not really get injured with a very high chance. What actually affects injuries is you consistently not sleeping good. So let's say you sleep 1 week, 6 hours, then it affects your performance. And the less you sleep, the more your performance gets affected. So 1 bad night of sleep, it will not really do anything too much to you in terms of performance. It does affect your health a lot by weakening your immune system and just increasing the chance of every disease happening to you. You're not gonna die, nothing will happen to you straight away, but the chance is increased. The worst thing is that what many people like to say is that, okay, I know people who slept bad for 20 years or all their life and they're okay. Well, just because they're alive, it doesn't mean anything. So what happens is that the chance of a disease happening to you or the immune system not being strong enough to handle that disease is way higher. So all the problems you can think of get a higher chance of happening if you don't sleep good enough. So sleep is the easiest thing you have control over. So sleep good. Another thing, why do people get injured? Not recovering enough and not warming up the right way. I see many people warm up even too much. And if you warm up too much, the chance of injury doesn't get smaller. It actually gets bigger. Many people, they warm up too much and then they even get a bit tired or sore during the warm up. So then you make your muscles tired and then you suddenly put a lot of pressure in the working sets. The chance of injury is higher if you do this. So it's all about knowing what's the perfect type of warm up. There's too much and there's too little. Well, the perfect amount is if you do a bit of dynamic stretching. So dynamic stretching, it's you dynamically moving, yeah? And the main part of the warm up is you doing the same move or same skill or same exercise you plan to do in the working sets, which are the main sets, the important sets, where you go intense, but you're going lighter. So same movement, easier variation. So if you're doing weighted calisthenics or you're lifting weights, one advice I would give you in terms of what's the perfect recovery, when you finally feel no soreness, so your biceps feel perfect, your lats feel perfect, zero soreness. On that day, it doesn't mean you can do the workout tomorrow. Tomorrow you're resting again and then you do the workout. So whenever the soreness fully stops, there's zero signs that you're sore, you give another day extra of rest and then you do the workout. If you go until failure in your workouts, then I would say minimum 5 days, maximum 9 days of recovery, and you would give 7 to 9 days only if you're busy with work and you cannot work out so often. If you're not going until failure, you're using like a powerlifting method where you have some reps in reserve, then minimum 3 full days of rest, maximum 6. So again, whenever the muscle soreness is fully gone, another extra day of rest, and then you do proper training. When it comes to how to avoid injuries, warm up good, recover enough, drink a good amount of water, eat enough. So you need to be in a small surplus. So you need to eat 100 to 300 calories more than your body needs to for you to maintain. So if the amount you need per day of calories is 2,500, you need 2,600 to 2,800 calories a day. Of course, it's very hard to know the right amount and to stick to the right amount every day. So just make sure you weigh yourself every day and the weight is going up. So the perfect amount for you to gain, if you're, let's say, above 22 years old, it's around 1 kilogram every 2-3 months of weight. And of course, most of that weight will be a bit of fat, which is okay. You still need a bit of fat. What's too much fat for weighted calisthenics? It's if you're flexing your abs and they're not visible at all. So if your abs become invisible, even if you flex them, you might have a bit too much fat. You can still progress, but that's when you know you gained a bit too much. Right now I'm at the point where in the worst case scenario I can just pull a muscle, spasm a muscle a little bit, which goes away in a few days. So now I don't get serious injuries anymore. And even if I do, there's always a reason behind it. Always. If you get injured, you messed up in something, which means if you don't fix that issue and if you don't improve by not doing that mistake again, same injury will happen again. And one thing in calisthenics that gets injured the most is your wrists and your rotator cuff. So how do you fix them? By improving the mobility, by getting more flexible. So you need to improve the flexibility of your wrists, flexibility of your rotator cuff, and you need to make them stronger. So how you make it stronger? You put a resistance or a band or a cable machine at the gym, you take it, boom, towards the body. Boom towards the body. This trains one part of the rotator cuff. The other one is you put it the opposite way and you take it, boom, the other way. Boom, that's how you train the rotator cuff in a very effective way. Those two movements are more than enough for you to minimize the chance of you getting injured. Of course, there's more movements that are very important, but these are the two main ones that are just gonna be enough. For wrists, you can do, there's many types of exercises, but you just need as a calisthenics athlete to make them stronger, keep getting stronger in them, and then you will be good. Now, how do you fix an injury? First, number one thing, for all the injuries, wait until most of the pain goes away. And what I mean by this is, if you're injured, you only start to do some preparational workouts or light workouts when you don't feel any pain. So now, if I have an elbow injury, I'm resting. My hand is resting, not doing anything. You shouldn't feel any pain. If you feel pain while doing nothing, that injury is serious. So what do you do in that situation? Rest until the pain goes away to the point where, okay, you move it. If you move a bit or you put a bit of pressure and you don't feel the pain, it means you're ready to go into stage 2 and actually start recovering from the injury. Be careful when it comes to that. When it comes to wrist injuries, it's the same. You can move it, it should be okay. Then you put specific pressure or this way pressure and you feel pain. Go through that stage first. And one very important advice, if you want to go through this first stage quicker, you want to recover from it quicker, what I would suggest you to do is go to a specialist. Go to a specialist and they will speed up the process. Or go to a physiotherapist, he will know your specific problem and give you specific exercises to strengthen the area. There's a similar system for all the injuries, which is again, wait until the pain goes away, until you can move a bit. Once you can move a bit with no pain, then it's the second part, which is doing a lot of blood flow. That's the same rule for all the injuries out there. So you first don't start by strengthening the area, you do blood flow. So you do all the major exercises, you do everything, you move around, you do all the compound lifts, but you don't do the movements that cause you pain. If let's say you only feel the injury when you do weighted dips, stop doing weighted dips, do assisted dips after the pain is gone, and keep doing your weighted pull-ups. Keep doing everything else if the other exercise don't cause you pain. If something causes pain, you do very light intensity. And when you do that, you're only applying very small amount of tension. So you do the movement that injured you, but you do such low intensity to the point where you shouldn't feel any pain or discomfort when you do that movement. Your goal is to get a pump. You do maybe 4 to 6 sets, get a pump with very smooth, nice control technique. A pump means you got a lot of blood flow, and blood flow heals the injury if that blood flow is with maximum 2-3 out of 10 pain or discomfort. If you feel too much, you're exaggerating and the injury will not go away. You're putting too much pressure on it. So what happens if you did the session went good, you didn't feel too much pain, next training a bit more intensity, and then slowly each session increase the intensity, more intense, more intense. And once you feel no pain fully and you're very confident, you can increase the intensity more. So a lot of blood flow at the end of your workouts is what you need, and avoid the exercises that cause you pain. Once you go to that stage again, keep increasing the intensity every workout, do not rush. And if usually you give 5 days between workouts, between intense workouts, with these type of workouts, with the recovery workouts, give as much rest to the point where you don't feel sore anymore. So it could be 2-3 days. 2-3 days recovery until the soreness is gone. Again, do the session a bit more intense, see how you feel. And train your rotator cuff, train your wrist, train your lower back on every single session. So that's the way you again get rid of the injuries. Make sure the pain is fully gone. Do blood flow, blood flow, blood flow, blood flow. You need to get pump, pump, pump. Once the pump, you feel confident with it. You feel like, okay, I can maybe now start to strengthen that area in order to decrease the chance of injuries in the future, because the best way you can avoid injuries by making that area stronger. So you got injured on weighted dips and you doing this rotator cuff movement hurts your elbow and shoulder. Okay, then you do this movement very low intensity. Get to the point where now your rotator cuff is stronger than ever before. That's after you fix the injury. Now take that seriously, and at the end of your workouts, train the rotator cuff so it's stronger than ever before. I had this problem on the elbow and the chest rotator cuff. Now this movement of the shoulder is stronger than my biceps. Get stronger, strengthen that area. Cool, I'm glad I shared knowledge with you. Now, look here, you looked? Okay, now click like, subscribe and all that stuff because you looked. Nice one. See?